Welcome to the Incompetent Griller, where I'm going to teach you, an incompetent griller, how to look like you know what you're doing when grilling in front of your family and friends. Today we'll be grilling barbecue ribs in just 1 hour on a Weber Kettle grill. As I said, we'll be grilling these ribs in about an hour, which may seem blasphemous to some of you who believe that ribs need to be smoked all day, but I can assure you, in the words of Rob Schneider, you can do it! We're going to start inside by preparing our ribs the night before our cook. We'll get a butter knife under this membrane on the backside, then pull it off using a paper towel or napkin to get a better grip on it. We're using a St. Louis style cut today, though you can use this recipe for any rib style you prefer. We could do some trimming, but I want to keep this recipe simple, so we'll skip over that today. We'll then make a Filipino barbecue marinade. I have fond memories of buying barbecue pork skewers when I was living in the Philippines, as the sauce was a little sweet and a little tangy, but always delicious. The sauce is made using the ingredients listed in the video description. You may need to buy some of these items from your local Asian store, but I've provided options for substitutions if you can't find certain items. After everything is whisked together, pour it over the ribs, meat side down, then place the tray in the refrigerator overnight. With that, you can sleep well knowing the most difficult part of this cook is already done. The rest is going to be easy.
Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really?
And that, my dear viewer, is what we call foreshadowing.
It was, in fact, not easy.
Good morning. Be sure to flip the ribs over so both sides get time to marinate before we start cooking lunch. Once you're ready to grill, get your coals started in the chimney, then head back inside. We're going to pour the marinade into a saucepan and boil it. This will help thicken the sauce so we can use it to baste our ribs later, while also keeping us alive by killing any bacteria it may have picked up during the marinating process. Be sure to add some ketchup and oil as noted in the recipe in the description. Once your coals are ready, put them in a line down the middle. When I lived in the Philippines, I would see street vendors grilling barbecue pork skewers directly over hot coals. I recently thought to myself, why do you need to smoke pork for hours when you could just grill it hot and fast? In honor of my Pinoy friends, we're going to grill these pork ribs hot and fast over direct heat. My goal with this video is to show ribs can be done quickly and deliciously, just like our ancestors used to do before the internet decided that smoking things all day was the only way to cook meat. Adjust the bottom vent to about halfway open to moderate your temperature. We're looking to be around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll add a chunk of smoking wood, mesquite in this case, to add some smoky flavor. Put your ribs on the grate, bone side down. Resist the urge to stretch the ribs out. Stretching your ribs makes the meat more prone to drying out during the cooking process, and no one wants that. We'll be flipping the ribs every 10 minutes to keep the ribs from burning on either side, then putting the lid back on. Just remember the reason why Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego kept their eyes open when King Nebuchadnezzar threw them into the fiery furnace. They knew if they were looking, they weren't cooking. Was that too dark? How about this one? During each 10-minute break, why not make amends to anyone you may have wronged? It may just keep you off Steve Buscemi's hit list. Anyway, now that 10 minutes have passed, we're going to flip the ribs so the meat side is face down. The bone side looks like it got a little too hot, so I'm going to adjust the top vent to halfway open to cool things down. When we come back, we'll start basting. Alright, we're ready to flip again and start basting. As I put my instant read thermometer through the vent, I noticed it was down in the 200s, so I'm going to open up the top vent again to raise the heat. To be clear, I'm not here to argue against cooking low and slow, but let's be honest, sometimes you just want to eat meat and not wait all day for it. However, if you do want to wait all day, go find a 3-2-1 recipe. It's great for beginners and will take you about 6 hours instead of the 1 hour we're shooting for today. Now that the meat's basted, put the lid on for another 10 minutes. Side note, when grilling, get your temperature locked in before you place your meat on the grill. The level of charring you're about to see over the next 40 minutes is all because I didn't wait 5 minutes at the beginning to check my temperature. That's all you really need to do on these Weber kettles. Adjust the vents, then wait about 5 minutes to see how the temperature changes, and then tweak accordingly. Patience is key. But no, because I was in a hurry, I was going back and forth on the vent the whole time. So save yourself the trouble and just take 5 or 10 minutes up front to get your temperatures right at the beginning.
Let that be a lesson to you all.
Okay, as you can see, we're flipping and basting the ribs. I should also note that I don't want to see a debate in the comments over whether rib meat should be fall off the bone or still have a little tug left on the bone. The fact is, pork is delicious, and us arguing about one method over the other is how the vegetarians are going to win. And I don't think any of you want to see that.
This is supposed to be a happy occasion. Let's not bicker and argue about who killed who.
Keep flipping and basting every 10 minutes until you've reached an internal temperature of around 190 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. We've been at this for about 1 hour, so the bone and meat side have each been on the direct heat for 3 turns at 10 minutes a pop. You'll note that the bones are a little more exposed as the meat pulls back, which is a good sign. At this point, we'll put the lid on for another 10-minute stretch to let the sauce tack up before bringing them inside. When cutting ribs, I like to flip them on edge so I can more clearly see the bone and know where to cut. Look at how tasty these look. Admittedly, that early heat got away from me a little bit, so there is a little more charring on the outside than I would normally want, but that marinade and regular saucing kept these ribs juicy inside and they are still delicious. Check out this bite. Amazing. I'm going to stop this video now. Let me know of your own successes down in the comments after trying this method yourselves. Have a great day.